make sure that you have something that you want to
Bloody
feed to
hells.
Gale in
Literally.
your pocket.
Just when I think I've got a grasp on our dilemma, a devil shows up. No matter. We've dealt with every other oddity thrown at us lately. We can handle this one too.
That's the spirit.
As for this Raphael, he knows our secret. He claims he can help. What do you make of him?
Don't fucking trust him. Don't fucking trust him. Don't fucking trust him. I mean, I know help is help, but no.
No doubts at all. He seemed powerful and very knowledgeable about our problem.
Yeah, those are two good reasons not to trust him.
Suspect we've stumbled across. As long as you can look past what he is.
I mean, I feel like I will seek your counsel, O wise and sage one, but also, like, if some stranger pops up and says, "Hi there, person who's never met me, I know your biggest problem and can easily solve it." That raises one's hackles. My hackles, they're up.
I'll tell you in due course. I just wanted to see how close we are in thinking, first of all.
Yeah, Sam, you don't. You absolutely don't.
You sit with the cat.
Yeah. If you happen to be within reach of a video game controller, you might play video games, but mostly you just sit with the cat. I don't...
The cat controls you. That's just how that works. If they decide to sit on your lap, that's where they are now.
You're a cat chair now. There are worse fates. It's a living. Just pretend you're on the Flintstones. The cat is the main character. You're the cute little cartoon bird / vacuum cleaner. Just look at the camera and say it's a living. Again, I'm not... I don't think we can trust this guy.
Good. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yay!
I know people who work much like our new acquaintance does. You don't need a scourge or a rack to break people. Fear and self-doubt is sufficient. When actual pain comes, the victim's already done the heavy lifting for their torturer. There were no right answers with that devil. He was toying with his food. Us.
Exactly. Tell me, tell me more about your experiences with mental and emotional and physical torture, Shadowheart.
Aren't you glad that I am? It's an effective trick. Watch out for it. And for Raphael.
Excellent.
Like,
Now there's a bloody devil turning after us.
he's had a hard time.
Shop around, he says. He seems sure we won't find anything.
Sorry! I wasn't
We've had
prepared!
no luck so far.
I know you told me, I just forgot. I was not prepared.
Yeah, the really fun thing is when he looks like this because you've gone through a particularly challenging combat, and then a romance scene triggers. And he's
Oh,
like trying
no.
to be all sexy, and he just looks like ass.
Oh no.
He did that, I think, the last time on Callista. She's the character that I have that romances him, where he was like, "Ooh, yay! You know, we should hook up again right now." And she's like, "I don't know." That seems irresponsible.
All right, so as far as Shadowheart knows, and this is like, you know, true open conversation with person we want to boink with Shadowheart. Yeah, I don't fucking trust that guy. For Astarion, yeah, okay, maybe we might have to cross that bridge.
If we don't know what we're walking into, that bridge will collapse under us. The devil has a plan. He's playing with us. Cazador, my old master, liked to toy with people too. Let them think there was hope right until the end. Until he snatched it all away. Creatures like them don't play games. Unless they know they can win.
I'm sorry, Astarion, your former master was a terrifying Fallout bug? Awesome.
That's a Cazadore.
Yeah, details. What's your plan, bud?
We keep hunting for answers. What other choice do we have?
Good point.
This is no ordinary mind flare parasite. Who tampered with it, and why? What do they have planned for us? And why are we important enough that a devil comes knocking on our door? If we find those answers, we might have a chance.
It's conceivable. Hey, Lae'zel, what are you up to? Did you hear about the whole devil thing? There was a devil
This
thing.
devil Raphael flaunts his paltry wings as if he wants to impress us.
Hey, she
You
heard.
saw the red dragon slaying his infernal kin above hell's fires, did you not?
Yeah.
Next to a dragon, the devil's a gnat. When I am Kithrak, I will take my queen Vlaakith his head as a trophy.
Sorry, when you're what now? Kithrak? I'm sorry, is that just a way of saying family?
Githyanki Knights, the riders that chase the Nautiloid. They are the commissars and enforcers of my queen Vlaakith's will. Vlaakith bestows no greater honor. To wield a Kithrak's silver sword is my destiny.
Okay.
I will earn my queen's favor, and I will conquer every layer of hell should she command it.
Okay. Lae'zel, do you know that your queen has had a TV show and a spin-off on ABC for several years now? Should we not mention that? She probably knows.
The Geich are my kind's mortal
What?
enemy. It is not unusual for the Kithrak to give chase, to penetrate the hells. This is unusual. But I'm not one to question the wisdom of my queen. I can see but to the horizon. Vlaakith's sight pierces the many planes.
It's the show that Abbott Elementary spun off of. Vlaakith.
What?
It's a television program called Black-ish. Sounds like Vlaakith. It's the entire joke. I didn't say it was a good joke. It can't all be winners. Hi, Will.
The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales. Don't you think?
Like, don't sell children for bags of holding. This is a reasonable thing to say in a world in which bags of holding exists.
Probably a bag of holding is the only thing that you should sell your child for. I feel like it's valuable enough.
Yeah. All right, tell me what you think of this Satan-y motherfucker.
Refuse him no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost's always too great.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with,
Uh-oh.
and then require more still.
Well, yeah.
You might think you'd give up anything for a cure. But the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything.
Hey, Gale. You're looking kinda not Grady over here, bud.
I feel like we bag on Gale a lot, but he grows on you. He's like mold. He's a good dude. He's just a snot.
Do you feel as flattered as I do? Fighting to dine with a devil.
Buddy! Buddy, you were just doubled over in pain a minute ago. All right.
Yeah, but this is his Raphael dialogue.
This is true. Also, I'm guessing that my number 3 here is because I hit that Arcana check, so yeah.
Don't let his bluster fool you. All that talk of desperation merely illustrates his own. I think he wants something from us, badly. And in that knowledge lies our opportunity.
I'm not gonna lie, I would not have pegged Gale. Stop phrasing. I would not have pegged Gale as the one to say, actually, let's hear this guy out.
The thing with Gale is that, like, and he's told you enough of this that I'm trying to avoid major spoilers for him, but he's someone who his major issue is pride and hubris, and he used to be like an archmage essentially. And so he looks at somebody like Raphael and thinks, you know, I'm equal to that, basically. So he tends to be a little bit not easily fooled necessarily, but he thinks he can handle things when maybe he can't. So, you know, rather than having that hard line of like, don't fuck with devils thing that the other characters have, Gale is here like, ooh, I could make this work for me because I'm smart and powerful and good.
He's
And
all petardy, and the world is ready to give him a hoist.
I would argue that it definitely already has.
Yeah.
And he's still in the process of learning his lesson from that. I really, really like his storyline. But this is like, once you get to know him better, like, this reaction makes perfect sense. Because, like, of course Gale thinks that he could outfox a devil. Why not? You know? Mystery used to think he was the best thing since sliced bread. So, like, obviously he can handle a demon.
Yeah. And obviously he knows what it is that this devil wants so very badly.
Our souls.
Yeah.
But I suspect that's but his opening offer.
Let me play the devil's advocate. The man is too eager. Do not dismiss his offer out of hand.
If there's one quality all the denizens of the hells embody, it's ambition. A quality they share with many humans, come to think of it.
This is true. You realize that you're the human in this conversation, right, Gale?
Oh, yeah. Well, Gale is also one of those characters. I mean, they're all
And
kind
the
of like
funniest.
this because
But
that's
Based on
characterization.
the evidence before us, we can make certain deductions as to why he sought out our merry band.
Fact 1, there's something very strange and very powerful about our tadpoles.
They make
Fact
gerblins do
2,
what we want.
A devil offers to take it away.
Devils aren't known to aid mortals out of simple kindness. Whatever Raphael wants, we must be the key to getting it, along with our tadpoles.
Awesome.
So, I say for now, we wait. If I'm right, Raphael will seek us out again, and when he does, there's a mighty bargain to be made.
Remember his Cormyrean rhyme? Down came the claw. Perhaps we should start growing our nails.
But I need them short for reasons.
Lesbian things.
I was
Like-
just gonna leave it at reasons and a Law and Order drop.
Where's the fun in that?
You know, another reason, Foxy, that I am so very glad, both that you are my friend in general and also that you are here on stream with me, is that when the horrible, when the pervy horny things are said, it is not the cishet white guy saying it. No, I could be like, don't look at me. Don't look at me. I'm the wholesome one. It's a weird and strange role for me to embody, but okay. I'll get my
Treading on
Griffin
some really-
McElroy on, I guess.
Uh-huh. I'm not commenting.
Listen, Jason Kelsey has taught us that there is space in the internet for decent, wholesome white men. particularly large ones with beards.
Sure.
Okay, so Gale, are you also all doubled over in agony now that we've had
Yeah,
our
you need to talk to him again.
long emotional conversation?
Yes.
What's on your mind? Apart from finding me an artifact to consume, which I assume you're pursuing with the appropriate urgency.
Aren't you, little snot?
I mean, listen, I found a trinket I'm not gonna use, and I'm willing to chuck it in your magic hole. Does that count?
That
Don't
is
call it
most
the magic
gratifying to
hole.
hear. May I?
Would you rather I referred to it as his yawning portal?
I mean, yeah. I think that would be funnier.
All right. Yeah, no, you can't have anything yet. No, here, have a thing.
And just give him the one. You can give him more than one, but sometimes that bugs it. I think they're gonna fix that eventually.
So I'm noticing on this screen, in addition to my inventory, is it literally everyone's inventory except his?
Yes.
The fuck, Gale? Like, okay.
Gale's not Moroku. He's not horny enough for that.
You can have 50 hit points or the thing that lets you cast dancing lights. Yeah, here. Have a Moondrop pendant.
The fact that Goog has not watched Inuyasha is the only thing keeping this from being a really spoilery conversation.
I'm afraid.
But at least he's not slutty in that
Thank
specific off-putting anime way. The rest of it, yeah.
Neat.
That hit the spot. I can feel it work. The magic, it's like a lullaby that sings to sleep the demon inside. A
Okay.
metaphorical demon, I haste to point out, but no less dangerous. And no less bound to wake up again to continue its ravages. Such is the nature of all monsters.
You know, Gale, I let a party member drink my blood from my neck. And he's still not definitely the creepiest dude right now.
Creepy's just a little poetic.
What are you gonna do? Yeah, I really needed that Moondrop pendant. Yeah, it sounds like this sucks, bud.
Oh, it's not so bad once you get used to it. And, on the plus side, my tower in Waterdeep has never been so free of clutter.
Okay.
Sincerely, though, I understand I ask a lot from you with few answers in return. But in time, all will be told.
It's a very expensive one. Okay. Yeah, no, happy to help, bud.
My lady, I bow to your boundless kindness.
Nude Indigo says, true, he's not slutty like that, but he a little hoe. The thing is, yeah, emotionally, yes. Gale used to have a problem. That it got,
Are we speaking as a character or a mechanical game problem?
mechanically.
Okay.
Gale had this problem, on launch, where, his romance would get activated,
There's nothing.
just all the time. All the time. And, he also has some big reactions if he feels like you're cheating on him. Which, if his romance gets activated by accident and you barely talk to him and all of a sudden he's yelling at you about how you're making out with somebody else, it's a little off-putting. But he definitely, he got a bit of a fandom reputation as being kind of like a pushy nice guy because he got like really romantically aggressive. Because mechanically he thought that you guys were going out, basically. And they ended up having to fix that eventually. But people didn't realize it was a glitch at first. And we're like, I picked like one nice thing and Gale is like up in my shit.
They thought
he's
he
still
was
kind of
just like that.
Yeah. He also, because he's one of the explicitly like good aligned party members, and he tends to get taken along to places more often than Will. One, because Warlock in the early levels kind of blows, and two, because he's a wizard, because Gale is a wizard and they're very useful. So he gets taken a lot of places. If you play a character who's even remotely good, it's basically just like a Gale approval machine at that point. So like even with like a character that wasn't super friendly with Gale, I still got to Act 2 with like everybody somewhere in the 40s in their approval, and Gale was at like 85. It's super easy to get his approval if you are just a nice person at all. And so some of his romance stuff tends to like trigger a little bit faster. And then he does nothing with it for like all of Act 2, which is really annoying. So he just kind of got a reputation as sort of a creep. And then they fixed it, but you know, first impressions are hard to shake.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's harder to romance than he used to be. You have to like do it on purpose. And most of the time, because I managed to trigger it in my honor mode run, and I don't really know how that happened. Because Callista doesn't talk to him. But that was kind of Gale's thing, is that he tends to just be a very pushy person. And now that's not really the case so much. But that was the thing. Which I think what's really interesting about it is that the reaction to Gale being that way was really, really negative. But Karlach is super easy to trigger the romance with without meaning to.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody ever complains about that. Like, they feel kind of bad about having to dump her for somebody else because she got triggered by accident. But, like, she doesn't get this reputation as, like, this weird creep.
Okay.
Even though she's, like, I would argue more aggressive about it. But I think it's because the kind of people who play this game and hang out in fan spaces and complain about that.
Obviously,
really,
you know the scene better than I do, and I'm sorry if I'm stepping on your toes
No, it's okay.
I would speculate, not even informed speculation, because all the information I have is basically from other conversations I've had with you. But broadly speaking, the people that are predominant in fandom spaces are going to be disproportionately to the overall player base more female, more genderqueer, more not straight white dudes, right?
The thing is that fandom is overwhelmingly like women and queer people. However, fandom loves a sad white man.
True.
So it's kind of like, But the thing that I was going to say about Karlach specifically and why she doesn't get the Gale treatment of people being like, oh, she's such a creep, is because a lot of people who play this game really like Tall Lady Step on Me. And that's kind of it. It's a horny thing.
Yeah.
It's horny reasons.
Yeah, like
and
that kind of person, particularly in that kind of fandom space, I think there might be two things at work. One, are going to be very like, step on me, mommy. And also are going to be people who either have friends who have or have very personal experience with someone who looks like a wholesome straight white boy who suddenly turns out to be a sex pest.
Yeah. And that is probably part of it. They know what it looks like when a weird little guy is hitting on them. It's basically how you're describing Gale. Yeah, Gale I'm surprised, honestly, that Gale is such, like, a hit or miss character in, like, online spaces, because statistically, like, Larian tracks their stats to see how people are playing the game. Statistically speaking, he's one of the more popular characters in, like, the general user base. When people choose to play an origin character instead of making a custom one, overwhelmingly they choose to play as Gale. He gets romanced a lot. Like, people generally like him. It's just like fandom spaces are so sharply divided. He's really a love him or hate him character. And that baffles me. Because, like, I think some of it is also like it's carryover from the early access where he really was like genuinely an asshole. They rewrote a lot of his lines. They softened him up a lot for the full release. He was way more condescending. He was a lot sharper. His Act 1 romance content was like kind of douchebaggy.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's definitely a contingent of people who are like, they don't really fuck with him because they played the early access and they really didn't like him there. I'm just surprised that full release Gale is so contentious. Like, I don't know, maybe I overestimated fandom's love for white guys, which is hard to do. But, you know, it's also because Astarion is there. I think if Astarion wasn't there, Gale would be the one that they latched onto.
Yeah.
But, like, Astarion is basically, like, fandom crack. Like, that's... he's just one long interview with the vampire reference. Like, people love a sad, white-haired, sexy elf. And I think that leaves a little bit less room for Gale. Although there are people who are pretty hardcore about shipping him with Astarion, so take that as you will. Kung Fu Grip says, I got a bad vibe from Gale beyond anyone else of the first 4 party members. He comes off as smug. Oh, he is smug. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gale is smug. He's an arrogant, smug asshole. And that's... I don't know, maybe I just have a higher tolerance for unpleasant people. I really like him, but I like that he's an asshole is the thing.
Yeah.
Because I think that makes him interesting to me.
Yeah, it would be boring if he was just a goody two-shoes, do the right thing wizard type.
Like, the fact that Gale is kind of a twat is, like, part of the point. Like, they definitely did that on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And then when you get to know him more, like, you get a sense of, like, what's real and what's a front, you know? And I don't know, he has an interesting story. So does Astarion. Astarion is way meaner than Gale all of the time. But I think people are more charmed by it because he comes off as, like, your bitchy gay friend.
As KFG says, the hot, sassy, flamboyant boy is the magnet.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of hot, sassy, flamboyant boys, Astarion has an exclamation point above his head.
He
We should
does.
probably see to that.
His face is gonna stay
There
fucked up,
you
though.
are, my friend.
Hey, he's less fucked up. He's not as bloody. Buddy, are you okay?
I have drunk. Not alcohol, of course. A bear.
Oh, good.
He took a little of my blood. I took all of his.
Wonderful. Are we talking a large woodland creature or a burly gentleman? Anyway, are you doing okay?
You're comparing plonk to vintage wine. You can make merry with either, but they're not the same. But Cazador fed me rats and bugs. And when you're used to drinking from a sewer, even plonk is a marked improvement.
It's a credit to this game that the first and second times I have ever heard the word plonk have been in the last 30 seconds, and yet I have a fairly good understanding of what it is. So, good for you. Yeah, why did he feed you rats exactly? Was this a bad person doing bad things to the elf vampire possible slave person?
I existed. That was enough for him. He reveled in having power over me. Because those with power can do whatever the hell they want.
It's kind of the nature of power. At least he got out?
Is it? What good is freedom if I'm always watching the shadows?
Yeah.
No. I'll be safe when I'm powerful enough to grind Cazador into the dust. Powerful enough to do whatever the hell I want.
I feel like I make this esoteric reference entirely too often given how esoteric it is. But Astarion's education was not sufficiently enlightening, and therefore he can only imagine himself the oppressor. Sad.
Yeah. kind of the beginning of his arc in a nutshell.
Yeah. There are heroes about. I mean, can anyone in this camp be properly described as a hero at the moment?
Will.
Yeah, okay,
Like his
Will.
whole thing.
Will.
He's got a superhero name.
It's his whole thing. It's his whole thing. Okay, that's fair. Will. Beyond that, I guess Shadowheart? Like,
Gale is good aligned.
I don't know. Let's gently argue for benevolent socialist autocracy or whatever.
They're doing a piss poor job then.
Yeah,
The
well,
strong had 2 centuries to pluck me from torture. But no one came. No. It was the mind flayers that rescued me.
well, they're
They gave me
strong.
a gift. The strength to take my own freedom. I'm embracing this power. You should too.
No, unless Gerblins. That is probably not a rule we can actually stick to, but for the moment it seems like a good rule. Don't use the tadpole to mindfuck people, unless they're Gerblins.
I've actually never seen that bit of dialogue before. I think I've never taken that branch.
So, Gale just consumes magical items like I do wine. We truly are a group apart. Nevertheless, as quirks go, that's a new one for me.
Shadowheart, if you desperately need wine every 2 days to the point where you double over and literally grab your belly and convulse for not having it, you need rehab. Like, that's not great. Anyway, you don't actually have any new dialogue. Bye. All right, now clearly, since we got through that last battle without a tank type person, and we're still ostensibly going to find a tank type person, we don't need a tank type person. Clearly, that's what this means.
Yeah. If you want to add her to the party immediately, you're going to want to dismiss somebody ahead of time.
It's true. We'll have to deal with that. I think I'm going to be okay with just hopping over to camp.
Yeah.
And then bringing her back out, just in case shit goes bad. Besides.
If you want to just go forward and hang that right.
Yeah, she's down this way.
Yep.
Hey. Have we somehow gotten ourselves back out in front of the Grove? No, this is a different place.
No, but you did see this area from that little bit of the Grove.
Right.
And then you couldn't jump to it. So this is pretty close to the Grove. You just can't get... You had to go all the way around because of the hill.
I can't get there from here, basically. Okay. So we're slowly making our way into the circle here. There's blood down that way. That's probably a good sign. Everybody's excited when they see blood in the path, right?
Yeah. Does it for me.
Don't see anything.
I get to appreciate the period joke I did not just say right here. I'm thinking of it, but I'm not going to say it out loud.
Oh, hey! Hey, we've been looking for you. In a totally good way, I'm sure. Oh, there's nothing in that pile of bones. What a shame for that pile of bones. Hey, Murgrass. I'll take a Murgrass. I'll also take a hello person we're supposed to find and ostensibly murder.
One horn. The stink of Avernus. Advocatus Diaboli.
Well, I'll be God's damned. The Blade of Frontiers. Thought I'd shaken you for good. That'll teach me to underestimate you.
Hi there. You're Karlach, right?
Bloody right. An honor to be chased by the Blade of Frontiers, but I...
Oh, hey!
Heat roars through you, her heat, fiery as the hells. Then you're lost in visions of demonic armies as you tear through a landscape of fire and blood, the Blood War. You saw it from above as the Nautiloid passed through Avernus. This woman was on the front line.
What was that?
Evidence. Proof that you're a devil. A gladiator in the archdevil Zariel's army.
Yeah, but also...
I can explain, but it's a whole situation. If you just hear me out...
Another vision. Karlach's blade raised, slicing through devils, Zariel's servants, as her eyes dart around, seeking escape. Her rage and desperation seep into you. She is a victim of the Blood War, not an agent of it.
She's trying to trick us. Don't believe her lies.
Buddy.
You saw the truth. I never wanted to serve Zariel. I was enlisted in her army against my will. Forced to fight, and fight I did. When I saw an opportunity to get away, I took it. Finally home. Or near it, anyway.
You served her. That's enough to damn you.
Yeah, but... Buddy. Dumbass. Since when are you, like, all absolutesy about this?
You don't know what you're saying. You're asking me to trust a devil.
Yeah, well... would you rather I ask you to trust the weird visions given by our mutual frog offspring friend? 'Cause, you know... yeah, you literally saw her thoughts, dude.
You know monsters, right? Better than anyone. Look into my eyes. Can't you see I'm not what you think?
Shit. You really are no devil, are you? I've been deceived.
Haha!
Oh, thank the gods. Thought I was gonna have to take your head.
You would have died in the attempt. But there have been enough threats today.
Truce then, eh?
Aye. Truce.
Oh, they're gonna go on quickly.
Correct. But you already knew that. And you are...
Glad my girlfriend's here. Also, I'm Celeste.
Are your girlfriend yet?
Well met, soldier. Nice to meet a friendly around here. It's been tough going so far. I may not be a devil, but I can put the Blade's reputation to work. How would you feel about helping me kill some evil bastards?
We're good at that.
Little background, if your moral compass needs something to point at. You already know I fought in the Blood War. I was good. Really good. It turns out I've got a knack for killing demons. That made me a valuable asset. Zariel, the archdevil herself, made me as her personal attack dog. I played along until I could get the fuck out of there. But devils don't like to lose their assets.
That's true.
Zariel liked it so little. She sent a bunch of goons, so-called paladins of Tyr, to take me back. Problem is, I'm not going.
So we kill some tyranny paladins. I mean, that sounds imminently doable.
Don't worry, I'll lead the charge. But I could use your help. There's a lot of them and only one of me. After that, we can team up. Take Faerun by the short hairs. Sound good?
In a whole get the tadpole out of our eyes and eventually maybe form an adventuring party sort of thing. Yeah, sure.
Fuck yes! They cornered me outside the toll house just up the hill. Doubt they've gone far after the scorching I gave them. Hang on though. Looks like you've got enough backup at your side. Not sure there's room for me. I'll catch up with you when it's time to camp for now. But don't get to any of the fun stuff without me. Got it?
Hooray, Karlach! We have a Karlach, and Will has an exclamation point. Will, let's not have this conversation in the middle of a raging river, but, you know, in a second.
Standing in the water.
Yeah. Maybe not do that. How about that? Okay, now that we're not in the middle of a river.
You've been witness to a pantomime, I'm sorry to say. And I've played my part all too poorly.
Okay, so are you saying that was an act or that you got played? How did you get played?
I can say only this. Karlach's not the only one who's had a villain's knife held to their throats.
Gods, what now? Do you have a tax collector on your tail?
You're closer than you'd think.
Oh boy.
One night soon when we make camp, the veil will be lifted, and I'll pay my penance.
We just did a long rest, buddy. I'm not doing another one soon.
You're not in any danger, I promise. I can't say the same about me.
Oh boy. Awesome. Hey, speaking of camp, let's go back there.
Fucking love Karlach.
Karlach seems like a lot of fun.
Karlach is extremely cool. She's also the only companion that all of the other companions just like. Because, like, most of them have some kind of, like, low-grade beef with each other. Because they're a bunch of bitchy gays out in the forest.
So they're a D&D party.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all canonically bisexual or pansexual. And that, you know, if you just send a bunch of fruity motherfuckers out into the woods, half of them don't know what camping even is.
Can we take a moment to appreciate just how fucking tall Karlach is? Oh my god.
Karlach is so tall.
She's so tall.
She's so tall.
She has 14 hit points because I've never taken her out into the world to level up. We'll do that eventually, but also she's so tall.
She's so tall. I'm pretty sure they made the large body type because of Karlach. Because they had that extra development time.
Tell us
so
about
they made
this.
it available to everybody.
Tell us about this blood war.
Trust me, I'll tell you all about it after we take care of the goons on my tail.
All right. You know what? That's fair. Tell us about the goons, and more importantly, your tail.
Yeah, let's go straight there. Whatever those fucks are getting up to, it's nothing good. Just to say, by the way, they're not really paladins. Lackeys of the Archdevil playing dress-up as paladins of Tyr. No honor among devils.
Uh-huh. All right. Speaking of devils, what's the best way to kill them? Not that we want to kill you or anything.
Depends on the type. Ice devils hate an inferno, but that's an easy one. Orthons love projectiles. What they don't love is getting their bombs lobbed right back in their faces. Demons, on the other hand, every demon is absolutely singular. You can't ever think you've got them typed out. Sharp instincts, sharp weapons, and a knack for improvisation. That's the only way to survive them. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Murder, killing, death. Cool.
Also, given the way that you've been ripping through combat at lower levels than I did when I played Balanced, you probably could go just kick their asses right now.
Ooh. A thought. Shadowheart, what do you think if let me rephrase that. Shadowheart, what do we think of the big, tall, red lady?
Karlach and Will seem to have put their differences aside. I thought it was going to come to blows for a moment.
It was very quick.
Oh, okay. So because you took Will with you to go get Karlach, you're gonna get reactions to their conflict. If you pick her up without Will there, and then talk to people, mostly the reaction seems really horny. It's mostly Shadowheart and Lae'zel. Their first reaction to Karlach is, oh, and it's really funny. They both seem to be like barely containing the lust about tall lady step on me. Lae'zel makes some kind of comment about like, oh, well, we're gonna have to make sure that we have more camp supplies because she's just so big. So we're gonna need more to feed her because she's so tall and strong. There's like some random dialogue that sometimes fires when you're recruiting her, where Shadowheart is like, "Oh, she looks like she could just pick me up and throw me over her shoulder."
Oh my
that was
fucking
necessary.
god!
It's very funny. And even Astarion gets a little like, ooh, you know. Which is fucking hilarious. The girls want Karlach so bad.
Speaking of flirting and girls what want girls, this line of dialogue I have not seen before. Yes, indeed. Let us try again with the flirting.
I think I know what you mean. There's an undeniable rapport, and yet we haven't made time for each other. Time alone.
Yaha!
Easily remedied, if you like. I know a place.
Fucking brilliant!
Not just yet.
Fuck!
Let's choose our moment. Some quiet night, when the others are asleep and there's no distractions. I'll come for you.
She's giving me a lot of credit. Also, the game is basically screaming at me, take more long rests!
I mean, a little bit. Like, the plot progresses on long rest, but, you know, you can wait.
Yeah. We just took one, is the thing.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Believe me, you're not going to run out of them.
It's true. I kind of figured that Will and Karlach would have more back and forth, oh my god, I can't believe I wanted to kill you, you fucking evil devil. But no, they just kind of went from I'm going to murder you to we are snark friends in the course of like one conversation.
Yeah, I also kind of wish that it had gotten drawn out a little bit more, but like, Will obviously has like a plot relevant thing coming up really soon because he heavily foreshadowed it, kind of like a smack in the head.
Yeah.
It'll make more sense why he was so quick to give up once that happens, but I still think that it should have lasted longer, personally.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see just a little bit more tension. And that's kind of the issue with Will, is that Will is kind of not allowed to have too many negative emotions. Which I think is maybe the developers trying a little bit too hard not to create like a problematic black character, and instead they just made it so he doesn't get to get angry about stuff for more than 2 seconds at a time. I'm like, I don't know, he's in a really stressful environment. Maybe, I don't know.
Wait a second.
Let him go a little ape shit.
Are you telling me that this game, which has already displayed tremendous BioWare influence, has a black character who's a nice guy but kind of boring, and that's about it? I find that hard to believe.
I've never done that before.
Jacob Taylor and Liam doesn't get a last name, fuck Liam, did not
Liam does
walk
have a last
so that
name.
Will could run.
First of all, Will is not Jacob. And Liam's last name was Costa. So
I remember that now that you've said it.
Costa. I think it was Liam Costa. He's a better character than Liam Costa.
I'm sure he is. He's a better character than Jacob Taylor.
Yeah.
So far.
Will is legitimately very interesting. It's that I fundamentally disagree with some of his writing choices, because it does seem as if everybody here is allowed to go a little bit apeshit except for Will, and I think that's not fair. I think he deserves it. But like, his story makes sense when you follow along with it. I understand what they were trying to do. But I just wanted him to just go a little crazier and just have a little bit more catharsis, I guess. But that's getting really nitpicky. That's like 50 hours away for you. Don't worry about it. For right now, he is a level 3 warlock, and you're a ranger, and having you both in the party is a little redundant.
Yeah. Also, Astarion kicks ass. Hi.
Astarion does kick ass.
I thought we were going to see some real sparks fly between Will and Karlach. It's almost a pity things ended so amicably. Seeing those two duke it out would be fun.
It's a heck of a way to say you wanted them to kill each other, but yeah, sure. Lae'zel, pretend you were there and engage in conversation with me.
Karlach's got the brawn of a warrior and the wiles of a survivor. Best of all, she speaks her mind plainly and fully. Show her due respect.
Okay. You realize that she kind of obviates you out of the party, right? Like, okay.
Lae'zel does not care. Lae'zel just wants to climb that like a tree.
Hey, thanks for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss an upload. And if you want to catch the streams live, go to twitch.tv/the_Goog. The stream schedule's on screen now.